Paul, just in relation to your specific area, the lineout, have you been pleased with the progress that you've made throughout the course of the Six Nations Championship?
Yes, I think some parts of it have been good, some parts of it have been poor. We've managed to give away a few penalties through some sloppy defence on our behalf, which has, I suppose, given the opposition access into the game. And, that's one of the big things you don't want to do. You want to put pressure on opposition balls, certainly, but, you don't want to be giving away penalties, which we have once or twice. But it's been good. The calling's been good. The players are really impressive, the way they take ownership and they run the operation. So you're just trying to facilitate them and trying to, trying to help them see what you can see with the benefit of a video. You want them to be able to see it under pressure in a game and see it quickly and call it quickly, whether that's defensively or in attack. But the group are great, particularly the second rows. Everyone, Ultan Delan, Ryan Baird, since he's come in, is really diligent. James and Hendy have been doing it a long time and they're very good to be prepared. And Ty Byrne assisting them as well. So it's been enjoyable working with them. They have a massive appetite for work. The second rows in the group, they tend to do an awful lot of video. They tend to prepare a lot. They tend to think about the other guys who line out isn't the be all and end all of their week. They try and simplify things for them. So it's been great working with them.
Do you have to be smarter? Is that something that you've tried to do in terms of training when you're coaching them with, you do a bit of work and then you go look at the video and then go back to work again?
Yeah, I suppose you're trying to simplify things all the time, and you're trying to see things very quickly, and very often the only way you can see things quickly and call it quickly is experience. It's seeing it time and time again. If the only way you get the experience is by doing it, it can take a long time. So, you tend to do a lot of walkthroughs, you tend to watch a lot of footage and try and ask questions, and that's how they enjoy learning. The players enjoy talking things through, being challenging each other. And that's a bit of a challenge for me at times. You want to jump in with the answer yourself a lot. Even I was watching John Fogarty today when the scrums finished. He just sat back and let the players talk for about 60 seconds before he said anything himself, because they know how to solve the problems themselves very often, and if they don't, the guy beside them probably does. So it's about them trying to learn how to do that themselves, and then you can offer an opinion afterwards with the benefit of a video.
All right, good man. Have a good week.
Thank you.
Sinead here from Virgin Media. Overall, how would you describe what your kind of first month or so has been like as the forwards coach?
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, it's very intense. The hours are long. We've very little time as well. You'd love to have more time with the players, even in the working week. It's a constant, I suppose, discussion with Andy around how much time you're going to get with the players. But that time restriction is probably what makes you keep things simple. It makes you stick to what's relevant rather than trying to cover off everything, because you don't know what a team are going to do from week to week either. You just have to be able to prepare for the unexpected. So that's probably the biggest challenge, I think, is just trying to get time with the players, trying to prepare for I suppose the critical few moments in the game rather than trying to cover everything. And sometimes you have to go into a game knowing you haven't everything covered off, and knowing that the players are clever enough to solve problems on the go. But I must say I find that really challenging. I think it's a challenge for every young coach, is to want to cover everything, and Andy is good at putting the reins on that.
Will this Sunday's game against Scotland, be the real litmus test of how much progress you've made?
I think every game is a litmus test. The first game against Wales was incredible. I couldn't believe, after 15 minutes we were we probably lost, one of the best line-out jumpers in the Six Nations. So it's been a real challenge around every single corner. But there's no doubt Scotland are an excellent side. I think any team that's coached by Gregor Townsend always attacks really well, and going back to his Glasgow days, they always have an incredibly physical edge. You think sometimes if a coach is into attack, his teams won't have a physical edge, but every single Glasgow team I played back in the day were excellent attacking sides, but they were physical as well, and it's the same with this Scottish team now. So much of the good attack, I think, in the Autumn Nations and in the start of the Six Nations has come from Scotland. And then they're very, very physical as well. It was a fantastic performance by them against England in the first game. Excellent set-piece performance, which laid a real solid foundation for them to go on and win. So it's a massive test. These next 2 weeks against a resurgent, confident Scottish side and an English side that we've struggled against in recent months and years. It's a real tough challenge now the last 2 weeks.
Hi, Paul. I'm just wondering, can you give us an injury update? Andy said he was expecting everybody to be fit at the start of the week. How is everybody there?
Yeah, Josh van der Fleer is just going through return to play protocols, but everyone else has trained and is available for selection.
And Josh is not available, is that what you're saying?
No, he's going through his return to play protocols, so he might be, I'm not sure.
For the last few times Ireland have gone into this fixture, there's been an understandable sense of confidence between previous results and overall form. In the absence of those things that made Ireland confident previously, what is the levels of confidence like? Scotland seem to be on better than they were in previous years, and Ireland haven't had that consistency. So how confident is the squad that can get a result?
Yeah, I think it's the best Scottish team I've ever gone up against as a coach or a player. They're very well coached. They're very physical, and they've got some real X factor players as well. There's Finn Russell to name one, and Stuart Hogg just to name another. So I think they're in a very, very good place, and we're aware of the challenge. I think we've taken confidence from some of the things we've done in the last 3 games. We've probably been unlucky in some regards, and we haven't helped ourselves in other regards. We've probably given sides a leg up when we've played them at times, and that's something we just can't do going forward in the next 2 weeks. You have to be hard to beat. You can't give things away to teams, and unfortunately we've done that a little bit. And in the next 2 weeks, that's probably one of the most important parts of what we have to deliver. We have to be hard to beat. We can't give things away. We can't give teams a leg up, because this Scottish team will take advantage of that.
Paul, Justin Tracy, RT. Paul, you just touching on it there. When you say avoiding giving teams a leg up, what do you mean? How do you avoid doing that?
Oh, look, we played with 14 men against Wales. I think at various times we turned over the ball. Same against France. We had an excellent start to the game. We're unlucky not to go 10-0 up, but then gave them some access into the game through some poor play by us. They won good line-out ball off the top at the back of the line-out, and were able to put us under pressure in the middle of the field. So, being able to be miserly with turnovers, being able to be miserly with penalties, and not giving anything away is a really important part of winning these big international games. So I think if we can combine that with some of the better play we've had in the last 3 games, we'd be in a good place.
And Paul, in the 5 years or so...
Sorry, Justin, last one in this section, thanks.
Sure. In the 5 years or so that you've been away from the Ireland setup, Paul, what's the big change? How are international test teams now prepared differently than 2015?
Yeah, well, the biggest change here, which happened naturally, was the move to the HPC here in Abbottstown, and it just gives you different opportunities to prepare in different ways. We've a gym that goes on to an indoor pitch. We've I suppose TVs pitch side, so we can do a lot of work where we can walk through a lot of things. We can come out of the gym, we can go to an indoor surface, and we can rep through or walk through some things. And it saves a lot of the work that's done on the field. It gives you a lot more opportunities for clarity. I'd say the biggest change in the 5 years since I've retired is the amount of player involvement and player, I suppose, coaching that goes on. Players are incredibly diligent around the work they do. They take real responsibility in delivering the game plan to the wider playing group, you know, based on what your role is within the team. So I'd say they're the two big things. The HPC has seen a massive change in how we're able to go about our business, and the players are very diligent then in almost coaching the side themselves as well. So those are the two big changes.
The Guinness Six Nations Championship, live on Virgin Media One and Virgin Media Player.